Yo, gamers, what's up? It's your boy GoldDemon12 back with another wasting your time video. So, in today's video, we are going to talk about why this Hunter set, I cannot say the first part, I'm bad at English, uh, is actually not that good. I know there's a lot of people freaking out about this set actually being really good, but it's not. It's actually very deceptive on how effective it is in a lot of characters, and I want to get into that. So, previously, I made this chart sort of explaining who wants to run it, and I have since updated accordingly. But I'm actually going to debunk this and say that almost none of the characters in the game actually want to run this set, and there are many reasons for it. And it's simply because of how the characters function, not because the set is bad. It's a good set, but of course, with the title of this video saying that it's better than Emblem, I'm going to say it's not better than Emblem, and that it is not the new best set in the game. So, starting off with our case study here is Xiao. So, a little summary here. I have a top 1% Xiao, okay? No mean to flex, I know. But the thing with Xiao is, for his ideal setup currently is Vermilion with Jade Spear. And why this is important is because this gives him a lot of attack percent. This is huge because this is going to factor into his damage more than a lot of other characters will have because he builds up so much attack via Jade Spear and the actual set bonus. Why is this important? Well, it's because I ran some calculations on the new set. Now, ignore my shitty formatting. I know it's completely terrible. Ignore. Point is, you need to look at these numbers at the very end here. So, I ran the simulation, or this little test going off of my Xiao build, right? I just wanted to get an idea of what a peak Xiao would look like with this new set. So I gave a basic attack value of 2,000 and 5,000, and then I also ran it with my Xiao, assuming I had perfect artifacts, right? Wrote out all the damage percent, and then calculate it for the actual damage. As well as I did a simulation at the bottom just to show what it would look like fully buffed up, right? With the two sets, his two ideal sets, Vermilion and the new HP set. What I have found out is that it is actually impossible for the new set to outperform Vermilion. Now, here's the thing. What you need to keep in mind with a Xiao build, especially like this one, is that Vermilion gives him so much attack percent to where it actually outscales other artifacts. So basically, what I had here is I wanted to know if you sacrificed other stats and went full into crit, because this set does give you a lot of crit value, right? If you drop your crit down to 64, which you need to actually hit 100 on this set, and then increase your crit damage, well, what it turns out is it's not actually possible to do it with Jade Spear. So after like looking into it, if you had every single crit roll on your artifacts at a max like 7.8, and so you got like 40 plus crit on each substat for your artifacts, the most you could get is 298 crit damage. The problem with this is that you don't get the attack percent you need to meet the threshold to where it would even compete with Vermilion. So as you see here, this number at the bottom, yes, it looks higher than the Vermilion number, but this is with 300 crit damage, which is unrealistic because you're still going to need at least 3 substat rolls into crit rate, so you can get at least a minimum of like 10 crit rate needed to even reach that number, right? And so if we're going to be realistic, let's say, okay, well, the peak Xiao, because you still need attack percent, mind you, right? If you don't actually hit this attack number, which I was being generous, and I was saying, oh, you can hit 250 attack on Xiao before, anything else. That's not going to happen because this set doesn't give any attack or any other bonuses. So if we change this to a more realistic 250 crit damage, you can see it doesn't out damage a peak Vermilion. And this isn't even a peak Vermilion, right? This Vermilion is only 200 crit damage. So you can do a better build on Vermilion, and it's going to outperform the new HP set on Xiao. Across the board, right? Which is honestly a surprise to me because I look at it, I'm like, oh, hey, this gives a lot of crit. It's going to be better. When it turns out, when you do the math, it's not actually better at all on Xiao. So this means Xiao's best set is still Vermilion, right? Um, so that's kind of unfortunate, right? It just doing the math, it's not any better. And so that's why I got to look at the other characters. Is this set actually the best on slot on any of these characters? Starting with Dia. Dia, it's not. I can already tell you because her biggest problem is the energy gain. And even when you get her C4, which gives her extra energy, you're still going to struggle. And well, you have the Varix's glow set that gives a massive percentage. Now, this set isn't bad for her, but you don't gain as much as you would from like Emblem, especially at low constellations. And so 90% of Dia players aren't going to want to run this set, or they already farmed up a Varix's glow set. Now, the thing with both of these sets for these characters is that they're inconsistent because Dia requires you to be hit, right, in order to start the HP drain and therefore proc these sets to activate. But mainly because of the energy requirement, I'm going to say this is not her best set. And now that leaves us with the two Fontaine characters. This video is coming out after Fontaine, so I can talk about this clearly. Lenny does drain his own HP, and he actually does benefit from the two-piece. This is his best set, without question. He is locked in the mono pyro, so the only other option you would have for this character is Lava Walker. I doubt any of you are farming Lava Walker, and I doubt any of you want to build your Lenny on Lava Walker, because he has this brand new set that works perfectly with what he wants to do. Lynette. This set is okay on Lynette. Again, both these characters drain their own HP, and also Lynette has some self-healing, so you actually can proc this set. But I can't necessarily recommend it for most Lynette players, unless maybe you're C6 and trying to, min-max damage, but it's not really what you're looking for, I'll be honest. So, yeah, as for other characters, right, and that's why I have this in the 2-piece section. Hu Tao's teams normally run a shield user, right? Like Zhongli or something, so that she can stay alive, right? And she only has the one-time HP drain. And so you're not going to build up stacks fast on this. You can use the 2-piece pretty reliably. But again, after having Shimenawa or Crimson Witch, it's not ideal. I mean, this can be good for a 2-piece and a 2-piece build, but it's like, is this better? Like, can you run the 4-piece on her? You can, but I wouldn't, right? Same goes for all these characters, right? And a lot of these comps that I have up here, you're running a shield typically, and so you can't even maximize this set's effectiveness. Now, in the most recent Ganyu comps, you actually don't, but I'm pretty sure, just like Xiao, Ganyu will outscale it with the other sets versus this set. I could be wrong, I haven't done the math on all the characters, but I could say for certain it's almost guaranteed like that for Al Haytham teams and a few other teams, right? Ning Wong could probably benefit from it if you don't run a shielder, but most Geo teams run Zhongli, and so that's kind of an L, right? And that's the important thing to keep in mind about this set that I didn't mention earlier, is that shields completely invalidate this set, right? Shields prevent you from taking damage, and so unless you have an HP drain character, you're not proccing the set. So any team that runs a shield, this set is basically losing 50% of its effectiveness, right? Which kind of sucks, and that's why I put these characters here. You're not going to run it on those characters. Those teams are going to run those characters, right? And again, the ones at the top are only because I wanted to pick out some key DPS options that used normal charge attacks. So far we have determined that this set isn't actually better on any other of the characters because of various, in-game reasons of either not getting enough energy or, for Xiao's case, he benefits too much from other stats to where this doesn't actually help him out, even at the peak 1% level. So why is no one else using this set? Well, it's because half these characters are sub-DPSs are supports, so they're not taking damage in the first place. Unless, of course, you are fighting Rift Hounds, but you're telling me you're going to make this artifact set only for when you fight Rift Hounds, for it to not even outperform some of these other artifact sets at lower investments? It's like, what are we doing here, right? You can't say this artifact set is better than Emblem when it functionality doesn't work on like most of these characters. And you can go on and on like between any of these characters. Is it they're either Animo, they want to run a different set, or they're off-fielders, they want to run a different set, like Emblem, and which is the main thing in today's video. Emblem is still beating out this set on basically every character, right? I'm sure an argument can be made for like main DPS Lan if you have the C6, right? Because you can get the normal charge attack bonus, and then give yourself the what is it? The extra crit if you take damage. but like Emblem still out damages this. Like what Emblem provides out damages like on every character versus this set. That's just because the baseline is so high. It's a free 25% like damage just for like equipping the set, right? Or I believe it's 30% actually, but either way. Um, so it just outbeats them. You know, you have no reason to run it on like any of these characters, or they want to run a different set that is going into the strong box now, like in Xiao's case. Um, and so yeah, that's just how it is for like all these characters in this tier. And and because of how the set functions, it's kind of only there for characters that either drain or increase their own HP. So like maybe crit Kokomi, for example, or there's going to be some special cases like what I have below. So I put these in special cases for a couple of reasons. Eula is because Eula is the like hyper carry that's always on the field, and she has interrupt resist, right? She's kind of like Raiden, right? It's 100 interrupt resist or infinite poise during her burst. Why this could work on Eula is because a lot of Eula teams are just sitting there face tanking it until the burst goes off. So if you're not flinching the target, you can actually benefit from the set and get a lot of crit from it. Will it outperform Pale Flame? I don't think so, right? You can get more crit out of it versus Pale Flame, but the thing is, Pale Flame was giving you 50% fizz damage on top of 18% attack, and so it's another one of those scenarios where you get so many stats to where it doesn't realistically outperform the old set. Again, I haven't done the math on this, but I can't really tell you. Um, Kokomi. This set will enable you to run crit Kokomi on another set besides Blizzard, right? That's pretty huge. Any Kokomi fans, big W. Again, you're going to be team dependent, but as long as you run a Dendro character on like a Bloom team, I think you can get crit Kokomi pretty reliably. So that's Pog. Miko. Now, Miko is another one of the special examples I want to put because she has long field time for an off-field unit. And so in some cases against certain bosses, you can be hit and then get off field and you'll, leave the field with a crit bonus. Is this a good idea? No. Yeah, that's about it. A lot of characters can do similar things, but I would not be running it. It is important to note though, on teams like Razor, like Thundering Furry Razor, whatever the hell its name is, self-damage teams like Burgeon and Bloom, you can actually build more into damage on those teams instead of just raw EM with this set. Not that I would, because you gain so much from Elemental Mastery, but think of like a C6 Nilu, for example, where she gets extra crit stats for building the HP. You can like boost your crit even more with that, which could be pretty interesting to see. Um, I don't know if my friend here that wants to do that has C6 Nilu wants to necessarily do that, but it could be an interesting build. See how much damage she does with a raw crit build. And so that's how it sort of applies to all the other characters, right? Ayato again does normal attacks. Punchy Boy does normal attacks. Nilu I just talked about. And then there's Scaramouche, who again typically you're running a shield or someone with interrupt resist on him, and so run to the same scenario. And then Tanari is mainly used in aggravate teams nowadays, and so there's no shield in that team, and so you can benefit from extra crit if you can get hit. But yeah, that's basically it. I know that was a lot of me rambling, but despite how this artifact set looks on paper, in practicality, with a lot of how teams are ran currently and just how current characters function, even the HP drain characters like Dia Xiao and whatnot, you don't actually want to run this set because you don't benefit enough from it. And this was my concern a while ago that I commented on. Like, these artifact sets look really mid and very limited in their use, but that's because they're most likely designed for future characters. And so yeah, I want to know what you guys think. You can comment down below what you think. Is this assumption or I guess logic wrong? I'm just gonna say it's not, right? Because I think it's pretty clear that you don't want to run this artifact set on any of the old characters. But yeah, tell me what you think. I'll see you guys in the next one.